Hey YouTube, Zay the Scrub Tech here, back with another video. Today I'm just going to kind of get into some basics. We're going to talk about gowning and gloving. I'm going to explain two techniques for now, and then in another video I'm going to explain another technique. So today, let's get to it. So gowning and gloving. The two ways I'm going to teach you today is going to be an open gloving technique, and then the other one's going to be a closed glove technique with getting your gown on. I think these are two really important things to learn ahead of time. You learn it a lot when you're in school. Every program probably teaches its own certain way. I'm just going to kind of show you some things that I've learned over the years and things that I've done. So let's just get into it. So first things first, just a brand new pair of gloves. I can't fit them really, sixes. Maybe I should just grab another pair. So grab some 8 size gloves, and you always want to make sure you have like a pair of gloves that are comfortable for you, something that's not squeezing your hands too tight, anything to make it uncomfortable, because in some cases, some certain procedures, you're double gloving and everything, and sometimes you want to have, you know, maybe a larger glove on the inside and then a smaller one on the outside. Just kind of depends on your preference. That way you can save your hands and make sure that they're okay. When I first started out, especially like in school, and then also like when I got to working, I bounced back and forth from 7.5s to 8 and 8.5s, and I've really found that 8s are really more comfortable. They're the best fitting and feeling, especially for like when I'm doing like procedures that require double gloving. So like being in orthopedic procedures, I would double glove just because, you know, safety for the patient, but also safety for yourself as well too. And just, you know, the procedures that you do in orthopedics, you know, there's a lot of stuff that goes on, and sometimes you can be in those cases for a long time. So it really kind of depends on like the durability of the glove too and how long that lasts. So just to get into it too, I got a gown that's extra large. Gown sizes range anywhere from about small, medium, large, extra large, double X, triple X if that's the thing. But for the most part, I usually try to stick with like maybe an extra large gown or maybe a large gown. Large might be kind of pushing it, but extra large is kind of the right size for me. So make sure when you do pick your gowns and when you're getting all your supplies and stuff for your case, make sure you're getting the correct stuff and the right stuff that's going to fit comfortably for you. All right, so let's get into it. Okay, so with the open gloving technique, what we're going to do, I'm going to open these gloves up just normally. This would be kind of considered, this part of it would be considered still sterile since it's just your hands, but any other part, for like any other case or anything, you're gonna want to make sure that like you're either scrubbed in, or if it requires you to be sterile, be all the way sterile. But open gloving usually can be for simple things as applying dressings, or you could be helping somebody open some things, or like in cataract procedures, sometimes your newbie might need help with loading the lens if it's a loadable lens. In my case, sometimes that happens, and I know that happened for me when I first started. But just to get into this, I'm just gonna open this like normal. And you don't even have to do anything special. So like if you're in a hospital type setting, you can set these on a bed. Preferably in school, that's how they teach you, you know, when you open your gown and gloves on, you open them on a bed separately from like your sterile field. But in some cases, when you do get to a facility, there are those new transitions or new teachings to where you open your stuff on your back table. But right now, I'm just going to show you this basic technique. So all I'm going to do here is just open these. I'm going to kind of grab under these cuffs if I can real carefully and not touch the gloves. And then I'm just going to slowly pull away to my edges, just like so, and then just leave it alone, because this area right here where your gloves are at, that's like the sterile part, and that's the part you don't want to touch, because one, if you haven't did your scrub for the day, your hands, you know, they can't be sterilized, they'd be surgically clean. So for one, you don't want to touch that area because they're dirty, and two, the way you have to grab and pick these things up, you got to do it carefully. So to get started, I'm just going to start with the right side, and first I'm going to take off my band and my watch, because normally you don't have any jewelry or anything on when you're in the operating room or preparing your stuff. You might have it on at a certain time, you know, before you get into the room, but You know, sometimes people scrub their hands and they put their stuff back on, but then you take them off. So just to get into it, I'm gonna grab the right glove first. And a lot of times they teach you to grab the right one first, but if you're like left-handed too, do what's comfortable for you. So if you're left hand, you know, start with your left hand first, or your right hand, or if you're just practicing going both ways. That way you can be ambidextrous, and usually that works out hand in hand too. So let's just get into it. So I'm gonna grab here. And then so I'm grabbing like the cuffed area of the glove, and I'm just gonna slide my hand into it, and then I'm just gonna leave it, because this part here, sometimes you can get it to go all the way back and sometimes you can't. But this part here, most when you get inside of the glove, is considered unsterile, and you just really want the hand part here, you know, to be able to do what you gotta do. And so when I grab this other glove right here, I'm gonna take it by the cuff as well too, but then I'm gonna have it like this where my fingers are in it, so that way I have control of the glove. And so when I slide my hand into this part of the glove, I can use this hand to get it to go all the way back, and then I'm just gonna leave it. So just like so, I'm gonna leave it like that, because I'm gonna be messing with things that are sterile at this point. So like if my nurse hands me a dressing, or I gotta help my newbie, or you know, someone's even gotta help me load that cataract lens, then I have sterile hands to do so. So with all things said, that's kind of just the basics right there of open gloving. Not too hard, not too difficult. Does take some practice. So I do suggest that, you know, when you get into your program, or if you know people that have like some of these supplies and materials, get with them, get that, have them help you out with it, and then just practice, you know, do it over and over again. Repetition is the key, because on your surgical journey, you're going to be learning lots of things. So just take it from there. Be done with this part. I'm dropping crap. Okay, so I'm going to move these to the side. Actually, we're going to get to the gown part, and then we're actually going to do a gown and gloving part. So with that being said, I'm going to show you how to get into your gown, get into your gloves, go from there, and then things that you should and shouldn't do. So let me grab another pair of gloves. And so from here, I'm going to take the gown out of its packaging. And like I said, in school, they teach you a number of ways how to do things, but when you get to like a job site, you know, stuff changes when you get out in the real world. So this is how I'm going to show you. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to unfold it, and I'm going to go here, here, and then here, and this one back to me. And then like if I'm putting this like on my back table, I can toss it, or I can just set it there, because everything on the inside of this little wrapper that I've unfolded the gown with, that will, it's sterile on the inside, so your gown is sterile to that point. So a lot of times, like when you're in school, they'll teach you to like, you know, throw it on the table rather than set it on the table. And I kind of struggle with that a little bit, just because I like to toss and throw things sometimes, but it was because of what I was taught. But when you get into the groove of things of being in a facility or a surgical center, then you kind of get over those little things that you learn. So I'm just gonna set this down right here. Then I'm gonna get another pair of 8 gloves. And let's just say that this, you know, is my back table or my sterile field for now. This is just for, you know, educational purposes. So I'm just gonna kind of show and explain, you know, what you could do. So normally I could, you know, toss these gloves on the top or toss them onto the side, and then if I haven't done my wet scrub already, I'll go do my wet scrub, come in with my hands, and then this little towel right here, I'll actually pick this up to use it to clean. And normally when you come in wet, you'll just take one side of the towel and you'll come in, you know, dry your fingers and everything off your hand, you know, do it the basic way, flip it over, you know, do it the same way, call it good, you know, blah, blah. But do take that seriously though. Scrubbing your hands is something serious when you're scrubbing into a case or procedure or whatever you got going on. You always want to make sure you got clean hands. So long story short, I'm going to toss this to the side. And then for my gown, I'm going to pick it up here, just because there's an area right there for me, like a groove to pick it up. And a lot of times you want to pick it up on the inside, because like I said, this is the sterile part, and everything on the outside you don't want to grab there, because then it'd be considered non-sterile. You have contaminated your gown. So really you can grab like right here, or however your gown is oriented, you can slide your hand into this cuff right here, pick it up and take it, and then from here I'm gonna let it drop. and then without hitting anything, you just slide into your gown. And just like so, we're going to get into the closed gloving part of the procedure. So right now my hands are in the cuffs, and that's where you want to keep them, just because when you go outside of it, it's considered contaminated or unsterile. And sometimes you will see like some people, they'll have like their fingertips out of it a little bit at least, but a lot of times they teach you to kind of like to grab it, kind of like sock puppets in a way. So you want to grab it, you know, grab your gloves with these. So like on your here, just gonna open your gloves like normal. And at this point, since this area is considered like my sterile field, it's not gonna matter how you open these up. But it's still going to be the same technique as like when I showed you with open gloving. So you're going to grab by the cuff, flip it over, slide your hand in there, and then see right now you can kind of tell like my cuff is still on my thumb. You don't really want to mess with that until you get your other glove on, so that way you got like both your hands, you know, sterile. And so with that being said, I'm going to get this other glove on, and kind of the same way, I'm going to slide it in there. And then like with your cuff, you can grab onto the glove in any way you need to get it over, to slide over your cuff. So I'm gonna try to, I'm struggling a little bit, bear with me, but I'm gonna get it to go over. And see, now I'm at the point to where both of my hands are gloved. So I'm just gonna kind of tug back a little bit to where the cuff goes down a little bit, kind of just like so. And the same way for the other side too. And then from there, you kind of want to stop messing with them, because then if you do anything too hard, you can get a hole or something in your glove, and you know, just with that can cause a whole bunch of things. So maybe like one more time, I might just get there, make it look good, make it look jiggy a little bit. So, but other than that, that's kind of just the basics to open gloving, closed gloving. And then in the next video, I'll try to, you know, get somebody here so that way I can show you how to gown and glove a surgeon. So, and then also if you got like another scrub tech or, you know, a second assist coming in, or a PA or somebody, show you that as well too. So until the next time, like, comment, subscribe. Peace.